Okay, we are live, everybody. Welcome to the Red Eye Hour. We are back. Like they said on The Hangover, we are back. And welcome to the Red Eye let me mute that real quick.
Sorry.
So we have a guest tonight is A-ARon is in the house. I think your speaker is or your microphone. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, we're all good.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I am good. So this is episode 41 called Missing in Action. And why I called it Missing in Action is because since the last time we did a episode was like January 20th, so it's been a while, my co-host went missing in action. And I've tried to call him and text him. And I know sometimes this has happened in the past because I've known him. Like sometimes if he's going through stuff, sometimes he needs to step away, and that's fine. So really, at the end of the day, I just hope he's okay. And if he can just let me know, that'd be great. But so I decided to do a episode tonight just to get on here because I felt like it had been a long time and I didn't want to keep people waiting. So thanks for being on tonight, A-ARon.
Yeah. We got to find Antonious.
Yes, we do. I might have to send Dan Reeves out.
Yes.
Yes.
That private investigation is just not cutting it. We got to get Dan Reeves on the case.
That's right. So the last time we talked, I know we brought up that green comet that went by Earth. You know, it was like a 50,000 year deal. Like we won't see it again. Or the last time it did go by was like 50,000 years ago. So, and then it just went by here early February.
Nice.
Did you see it?
Did we survive? I didn't look.
Oh, yeah. We brought some videos up about it, but I don't have a video of that brought up today, but we had it in our last episode that we talked about it.
I saw there was like a near miss too. Was that the same thing?
This was like by space standards, the green comet, it's like a weird number. It's like L433, you know, it has some weird name, but it's the green comet. By space standards, it was only like a few million miles away, which is like pretty close.
Nice.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, we didn't need Bruce Willis this time.
So things I wanted to touch, just current events to like get everybody caught up and get this episode caught up in like current events. So the Chinese spy balloon. What were your thoughts on that, Aaron?
Well, I mean, what are they trying to find? Like, and why they're trying to keep it under a radar? But like, we have eyes. What is it doing?
Exactly. And was it confirmed that there was two, like one down by South America, or is that just like not real news?
I don't know. I heard there was like 3 during the last 4 years.
Okay.
Weren't shot down or anything. They just went across.
But and this isn't the first time that they've used this type of balloons before, right? In the past, didn't the Chinese use it?
Like when World War II was starting, they used balloons to bombard the West Coast, and they tried like putting bombs in little balloon baskets and just made thousands of them, and they launched them. And there's sites and stuff in Seattle and up and down the Pacific Northwest where people found those things. Like they would just land in forested areas and they'd still find them. People still find them today.
Okay.
But there were bombs that were all launched like right after Pearl Harbor stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a place up in Nebraska somewhere that has like a little sign on the side of the road about the Chinese balloon bombs or something from like back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have a video I was just gonna play. It's just like a news clip. I'm not saying it's like the best news clip, but let's see. So I'll just play a little bit of it real quick.
Says the Chinese spy balloon was
Fox News, man. I did that on
The Navy is
purpose.
still trying to find all the parts of the balloon shot down off the South Carolina coast as the FBI pieces together the recovered wreckage in a lab at Quantico.
It's not a major breach. I mean, look, it's a violation of international law. It's our airspace. And once it comes in our space, we can do what we want with it.
Defense officials have said they took measures to block the balloon from gathering sensitive data.
They say it's really big. Like if you put a 757 from like wing to wing on its side, they say it's pretty big. Okay, enough of that. Let's see. Let me get back to our thing. Here we go. We're back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, they're large. They're larger than I thought they were.
You know, there's like, I mean, it makes it look like it's some kind of radar surveillance thing, right? Like,
right.
Just in the places that I've gone in my own military career, there's things on the ground that look like that. But it's more around surveillance. They're not balloons. So like what are they trying to do with that? What is it capturing? Is it collecting like data from all of our Wi-Fi stuff or something? Or
yeah, maybe. It seems odd to me just because I don't know. I don't know if this makes any sense, but it seems odd to me. Like that thing itself just seems like old school to me, you know?
Yeah,
I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like we let this balloon like come all the way across from like northern Canada, all the way across the border. Like, I mean, we obviously had eyes on it for a while, I'm sure, you know? But they obviously decided to shoot it down because, you know, people were saying, oh, they won't shoot it down because they don't know if there's like, you know, viruses in it or some kind of, you know, whatever people thought. But that was kind of cool. They shot it down, though. I liked the video of that.
Yeah. I mean, why not have some practice? That was the first kill of the F-22.
That's right. That's that new jet, correct?
Yeah, we never get to, you know, have any cool jets to fight. Nobody else has any cool jets to fight with us. So
right.
We got to fight with Chinese balloons.
Right. So the other thing I had in the news was that huge earthquake in Turkey, that's 7.9.
Oh man, yeah, that looks like some terrible headlines. A lot of people.
Yeah, I have terrible headlines. Like 20,000 people are dead.
Oh man.
I saw some videos like buildings were coming down, like the Twin Towers came down on that day, just like do 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 do. It was pretty wild. I also heard, this isn't confirmed or anything, but I heard that it was such a huge earthquake that it maybe shifted that part of the continent like 3 meters. Yeah. That's what they're saying. I have a video I can play about it real quick. I'll pull it up.
It's an ancient part of the world.
It is an ancient part of the world. And here we go.
A series of powerful successive earthquakes struck the Turkish-Syrian border on February 6th. The first and most powerful was a 7.8 magnitude quake.
7.8.
This region certainly hasn't seen an earthquake this size in centuries.
Look at this.
Destruction.
Look at that.
Man.
What?
Hit the region. Then a second 7.5 magnitude quake hit in the afternoon, followed by its own series of aftershocks. In their wake, a humanitarian and economic crisis.
Look at that.
Thousands of people are reported dead, and even more are still missing. It's not the first time this region has suffered a violent quake, and it won't be the last.
We don't have to watch all of that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right there is where like Pangea, like the continents all joined, yes. Right? So it's always been under pressure and cracking and crumbling and
right.
that infrastructure just collapsing like that is terrifying.
It is.
No, so many people, man. 20,000, you said?
That's the newest I heard.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. So I'm sure America will be helping with, like, what is it, Doctors Without Borders and all that stuff that go in and help, right?
Yeah, that's a dangerous area too, though. That border with Syria is really that's like Kurdistan.
Okay.
And the Kurds are there, but like they're always at war with the Turks and the PKK, and it's kind of not a very safe area. So the aid would probably be limited to a lot of in-country Turkish stuff. But
wow,
yeah,
I just don't know how you would recover from something like that. Like, how does your country recover from something like that?
right. Well, at least Turkey is part of the EU, so that is one benefit. Europe can help them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. Let me take that one down. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, well, both these next two things tie into each other. First, though, well, I don't have a video for that. I guess I could try to find one. First, though, I'll talk about, so on February 6th, Missouri, they passed earlier in the year to go recreational with marijuana. And so February 6th was the actual first date they could start, like the dispensaries could start selling it, because they had to get their licenses and everything in place.
Yeah.
And so, that started on Monday.
Yeah. Over just across the border.
Yep. You don't have to drive all the way to Colorado anymore. Now you can just drive a couple hours.
Maybe has anyone seen Antonious since February 6th?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. It's well, I don't know.
Maybe he's stuck in Missouri.
Maybe he drove his truck there and stayed. Let's see. I have a video I'll play here. Let's see about it. It's pretty cool. Here we go.
Right now, you can legally possess 3 ounces of marijuana in Missouri, but you can't buy it yet. KSHB 41's Grant Stevens shows us the opening date is getting close and local businesses are preparing.
This is just a fraction of what I can legally have in Missouri right now. The only thing is, Fresh Karma can't sell it to me just yet. So we wanted to ask what it will take to get there.
At first, it was very exciting, and it was a lot of high fives and a lot of excitement. But then pretty much the next day, it was, okay, what do we need to do to make this possible?
Do you try and make your lobby bigger?
And having enough folks here, enough bud tenders here.
Do you remove the festivals?
Enough all those things.
318 of Missouri's 342 licensed medical dispensaries are asking those same questions, all getting ready for February 6th, when you can legally buy from recreationally licensed sellers.
Preparation of staff, preparation of product, just changing for 3 to 5 times more business than we had.
Well, that's the future, man.
Ahead of that demand, Karma staff has already seen a boom in questions.
Everyone now has family members asking questions, things like that. So Christmas has turned into, how was your year, to tell me all about cannabis.
Now, they and 317 places like them are waiting for the state to approve their switch from medical to recreational, but they aren't too worried.
They want to do it right together as opposed to policing us up to this point, which has been a really wonderful experience.
The State Department of Health and Senior Services, in charge of regulating marijuana-related applications, says it's finalizing a draft of rules dispensaries will have to follow. The department expects to have those out before February 6th. In Kansas City, Grant Stevens, KSHB 41 News.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's at.
Nice.
Yeah. That's and so what I said tied into my next thing I was going to talk about is just the green rush, because in the research that you look into, we are in the years of the green rush, and that's with like states decriminalizing it or going medical, recreational, and then with all of the CBD and the Farm Bill Act being passed and CBD stores opening up. Like, it's just all of that together is the green rush, and that's what we're seeing in America.
What does the Farm Bill have to do with, like, how did that happen? Like, what is that part of it?
That's what made CBD legal on a federal level across all the states. And I think actually Trump might have like introduced that bill or got it going, and it just made it okay for you to like farm industrialized hemp. It made that okay to get licenses and do that, and then to be able people to sell like hemp derived CBD. And then of course there's loopholes because you have like Delta 8, 9, and 10, which is still hemp derived, but it's has like everything has to have 0.3% or less, and that has to be in all packaging, and that's part of the bill also. It said like if it does have THC, that has to be labeled and has to be below that certain amount to make it legal. And that's why it should be on every container that you buy. If you go to a CBD store, it has to have that on there. But CBD has a lot of medical benefits, and that's one of the reasons it was also, I believe, made federally legal. So, you can get CBD isolate that doesn't have any THC in it, and so that way you don't have any psychoactive effects, and you can still get all the medicinal benefits. Whether that's like the sports cream for people's like arthritis on their knee, that's super popular. I think Ray takes like a nano with his water every day, a nano soluble CBD, and it's for his knees because he has bad knees from moving kegs all the years, and it helps with the inflammation.
Nice.
There's stuff for like sports. If you're active in sports, like BioFreeze with like CBD in it, that's something they have. Just everything for sleep. They make beauty products for women, like body cream and stuff like that. It's supposed to be really good. So, I mean, it's just the plant has a lot of compounds, and like with those compounds come a lot of different medical benefits you can use.
So when we're talking like the hemp and the cannabis and the marijuana, like THC is derived, and how do you delineate those things?
Like the hemp derived from the THC derived CBD?
Yeah. Or just how the plants are different themselves, or how it's the same, and the misconception there.
Well, it's all from the same plant.
Right.
There's hundreds of compounds in that same plant. So that's what they're doing, like scientifically, because they're saying like we're taking this compound from the plant, CBD, and straight CBD has no psychoactive acts, to it. But then they can take like a different compound that's just slightly different, and it can have, like the low amount of THC in it. But when it's combined with the CBD, that's where you can get some of those relaxing effects or things like that, right? But it all comes from the same plant originally. So if it's just grown like industrialized, I think they're just growing it like when they grow it, they're not growing it to like bud it into flowers or anything. They're just growing it like straight hemp, like, because that's what it is, like in its natural form. It's still hemp, but it's also still the cannabis sativa plant, but hemp's just grown. It's not going to be grown to like grow these awesome buds on it that you can take off and smoke. It's going to just be grown pretty straightforward, very leafy, big stalks,
So when they did the 2018 farm bill, they legalized growing hemp in Kansas. There's farms that have hemp that
right.
is grown locally in Kansas. And that's also kind of the farm bill being, like you were describing, like it's the foundation of where a lot of the regulation comes from, because it says you got to have this labeled with this much THC and it's lab tested. It kind of builds that through there. So,
hey, welcome, Ray. Ray is in the guest tonight on the episode. We were just talking about we're talking about Missouri, how they started selling recreational weed on the 6th.
Roger that.
But then, so we played a little video about that, and then I was talking about the green rush that we're in. I have a little video I'm going to play, but we are just having the discussion about like, what's the difference between hemp-derived CBD and like marijuana-derived CBD?
So think of it this way. So everybody thinks that when you say hemp, it means marijuana. That's what they think.
Right.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Like the marijuana, like if you grab the stalk of it, of that plant, it's not going to be the same thing that's on the flower. You know what I mean? On the bud part. So yes, you're deriving this from non-psychoactive hemp flower, because they sell hemp flower that's 0 THC, 0 everything, no delta 8, no nothing. So, and there's like, just like you have daisies and you have roses, they're still flowers, they're just different types of flowers. So you just have to, people have to broaden their perspective of what hemp is. That's number one. Number two, when you're talking about all these compounds, and the awesome thing about them is when they extract, say, THCP. So if you take THCP and you put it under a microscope, it does not look like Delta 9 at all, which is the thing that everybody with the federally illegal, but states are legalizing. That's D9. Okay. Right. And yes, the packages have to be 0.3% or less.
Right.
But if you take that same exact compound and you ignite it, whether it be through a disposable or flower, you can get the flower version of it.
Right.
When it hits your lungs, the way your body interacts with THCP, it turns it into Delta 9.
Okay.
So your body's chemistry actually interacts. I mean, our body's chemistry interacts with all these things.
Right.
But that one in particular, it converts it into your body into D9. That's why you tell people, like, even in this state, if you buy a Delta 8 product or a Delta 10 product or a TCP, THCO, JD, the big one now is A. A is like
THCA.
THCA.
Is that a base or an acid? Do you know?
I do not know. I'd have to look that up. But that's the big one right now, and that when you smoke it or eat it or whatever is the 100% cousin to your regular D9. And yeah, it's the thing. Like, a lot of people were really scared. They're like, oh, they're gonna make Delta 8 illegal. I'm like, okay, cool. Now you got to deal with HHC. You have to deal with THCP, THCO, JD. You have to deal with all these other compounds. They're not going to do that. It's federally legal. It's part of the Farm Bill. Just accept it. The people that are fighting back are the ones that just don't see the big picture of it actually, like this is going to end in your lifetime, whether you like it or not.
Right.
The younger generation doesn't care about this. It's the old people that are dying now that don't have the voting power to do anything. And then the young group comes in and says, hey, it's legal now. But the biggest problem, and a lot of people, they don't understand this. A-ARon will, you might not so much. So a lot of people think that you can make marijuana legal in the United States by the stroke of a pen by the President of the United States, correct? Everybody would agree with that. The problem is the United States, Canada, Mexico, Holland, Germany, all these countries fall under a blanket of NATO. NATO has its own drug laws. Marijuana is part of that. So if you make it federally legal in the United States, you have to go to NATO and like, hey, we need to redraft what we constitute as drugs, because people think it's legal in Holland. It's not. It's decriminalized. It isn't legal in Holland. Right. It's just completely decriminalized. They don't care about it.
Right.
So
I've been there. I bought pot in Holland.
Exactly. And people have to look at the bigger picture of, yes, we want it to be done here. And then the banking system, you got to figure that out because of, FDIC. If they decriminalize it, then the bank should take it off the books. And then that actually helps out with the situation that we're in right now. But then you have to go to NATO and be like, hey, NATO, you got to reschedule it. It's time for it to to be rescheduled. And I mean, a lot of countries would most likely agree with whatever. What is NATO going to do anyway? We're going to do NATO. We're going to do. We're going to do.
It's NATO is us.
Yeah, they ain't going to do shit. They're like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Oh, you're not going to fight your own war? Okay, cool. Yeah, you have no army. Right. So that's what it all kind of boils down to. And it's going to take a president with balls that is going to be like, hey, we're doing this and you're going to have to rewrite your laws on it. Because even in Canada, you can buy it now, but it's decriminalized. It's not legal. It's decriminalized. Two different things.
I think it's interesting how it's evolved from it's kind of being birthed in a way at a federal level from the Farm Bill. And as long as that's where it's coming from, it'll continue to get regulated, but it won't ever be banned. I think that is a good thing for it. It'll grow like other things do, and it'll become part of a crop culture and ecosystem.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a firm believer. Like, yeah, if you make it illegal and stuff like that, people are like, okay, so Delta 8 and HHC and all those things go away. No, you keep those. It's like alcohol. You have beer, and everyone's like Bud Light, Busch Light, but now you have tons of different varieties and tons of different, like tasting profiles. It's the same thing. It's just in a different industry. They have to look at it in a broader spectrum.
Well, we grow corn in Kansas, right? But it's not natural to have as much corn as we do. There's no need, but there was a supply, and there was so much corn, they were making it into gasoline and ethanol. But like, if you have a other product that can grow, and we have conditions that are good for growing, then why not change? And if you can change the farming market, then you change the entire economy. They get subsidies in the farming market just as much as anyone else. I mean, that's kind of the engine that drives what we eat or consume.
Right. I agree.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I can play this Green Rush video. It's 1:03, so it's not very long. I'll share it here with you guys. Here we go. Share screen. Select video. All right, here we go. The Green Rush.
That's loud as hell, dude.
Is it?
Real loud.
My bad. Oklahoma's the latest state to pass legislation. Yeah, it's okay video.
Yeah. That's 4 years old, Jeremy. Jeremy, that was a video from 4 years ago.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of old. Whatever.
They're trying to sell you drug testing.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. So that's the big thing, man.
I mean, it's going to stay a big thing until, until everything passes. But I talk to people all the time. I talk to young people all the time. And they're all like, they need to sign it and legalize it. I'm like, I'm with you. I agree with you. But you have to look at this from a huge global standpoint. If the United States does something, the rest of them are just going to fall in line behind us. They're going to do it. But it does. You're talking about trillions of dollars, most likely. And then, NATO. The big thing for me, and it pisses me off, is that the banking system, and the main reason behind it is there's so much money that's tied into states right now because they can't put the money in FDIC insured banks. So that money never makes it back to the Fed.
You mean where it's where weed's legalized federally?
Exactly. They can't put their
Right.
they can't make nightly deposits in a FDIC insured bank.
Right.
So that money stays inside the state. The Fed, they print off more money because they're not getting any money back. Now think about it from the standpoint where, okay, you decriminalize it, money can go into federal banks, then all that money that is sitting inside state banks not doing a damn thing goes back into the system. The Fed holds it, our interest rates drop, the dollar increases in value. You're printing, they print money all the time because they're like, oh, we're not getting any of it back, whether it's going to Mexican drug cartels or in these state banks that can't put the money anywhere else. They hold their own money.
Right.
You know, and it's a lot. I mean, we're talking about $1 billion to $1 trillion industry. Globally, it's trillions easily. Inside the United States, I believe it's $1 billion industry.
Well, CBD is already like worth like 2 to 4 billion right now, and then like the next couple of years, it's supposed to go up to like 20 billion. The industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with that, with CBD, you can deposit money into banks because it's federally legal.
Exactly. It falls under Farm Bill compliancy.
Right.
You know,
so that's nice. Yeah.
That's going to be the smoothest path, right? Like,
right. I think so.
As the regulations come out. I think the other thing was what Jeremy earlier this week, there was a bill or somebody introduced something about not decriminalize, but how once it becomes legal, amnesty for those that are in jail for crimes committed. That's something that's going to be difficult to unwind too. And that's in Kansas. Like they got to figure out, there's people in jail. They just sentenced somebody for marijuana charges in Leavenworth for 7 years for having like 3 grams of marijuana.
Yeah, that's retarded.
What happens when it's legal in Kansas and that dude's in jail?
He should be let out.
And that's where a lot of people are going to have agreements and disagreements. I lean on the side. Do you let them all out? Well, first, let's look at all your charges. You were caught with marijuana. Okay. You were caught with meth. Okay. You're staying. You were caught with guns and marijuana. Okay. You're staying. You're caught with marijuana. Yeah. You're out. It's not just a blanket like, oh, you're just caught with, if it was just that, okay, fine. Simple possession, fine. But if you're part of like a bigger organization, there's going to be a lot of pushback from, both sides of the aisle, I believe, that they're going to be like, no, these people are part of a criminal enterprise.
Right. I think a lot of
people,
you're
not letting them out.
Right. They've used, but it's those situations where they've used marijuana as the charge. Like when you don't lock up the mob boss on murder, you get him on tax fraud.
Yeah.
Like they got a lot of bad people on marijuana charges, but did they not have, like, that's the dilemma maybe for the flip side of the argument, I guess. Like they're only in there because you have that, and so now I think they have to let them out, but it's just a question of that they should have done their due diligence on the rest of whatever they thought was illegal.
Yeah, the other problem with just letting them all out, and again, I'm not disagreeing with anybody in this, don't come for my head, is that you're going to put the judicial system in a huge bottleneck of getting people out, getting their records expunged. So it's going to take like decades for this to completely clean up, but eventually it does. It's just. It's
another thing that needs to be done.
Exactly. And you're going to hear people like, well, they did it while it was illegal, so they stay in jail. Yeah. You're going to hear that argument a lot, like, oh, they did it while it was illegal. Think of it like the purge. Like, hey, you get to commit crime one time, a year.
Right.
It's that's the hardest situation, is to find those cases where somebody gets in trouble for simple possession and they were 20 years old, and they're like, oh, you're on probation now, and then they screw up their probation by drinking or smoking weed or whatever, and then they have to go to to jail or to prison for it. Yeah, those situations are awful. You know what I mean? But
right.
There's people have to understand it's one thing at a time. We're adults now. We understand that this is going to have to go in stages. Like if the moment it happens, the news organizations are going to be all over it, and they're going to be like, and then you're going to see the anti-prison people like, we need to let them all out now, and they're going to change the narrative to that without checking off all the other ducks in a row, as far as the banking system, as far as compliancy on how things will be regulated, taxes, banks, NATO, so on and so forth. They're going to go straight to that narrative of, we need to let them all out right now. Cool. We're with you on to a certain point, but we have to be adults about it. We have to do things correctly.
Yep.
Right.
I think the governor could probably, depending on who the governor is, they could use their executive order to pardon or give clemency or.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and you're going to, depending on who the governor is, they're going to get a ton of votes off that. Then they're going to get some people that are, firing back from it. But look at how Derek Schmidt failed at running against Laura Kelly. Failed. Like he tried to talk all this crap on her and like running these smear campaigns. I'm like, dude, everybody kind of likes Laura Kelly. You know what I mean? On the left and the right side. She's just kind of she's way better than we had in Brownback.
that is definitely true.
That dude was absolute dog water as a governor. Dog water. Dude, my mother-in-law is a school teacher, and when he was gone, she was like, thank God, maybe we'll get some funding and I don't have to buy books for the children at the school on my salary. Like it's right. God, he was terrible.
Right. Like Laura Kelly is leagues and leagues better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was bad. We don't want that again.
He didn't even live in Kansas. Did you know that?
Yeah, he lives in another planet, I think.
Well, when he was the governor of Kansas, I believe he lived in Nebraska.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
Yeah.
Well, so this is Super Bowl Sunday, right? So Chiefs, obviously. Oops, sorry. No.
Where's Antonious when you need him?
I know, man. He would be good to.
Yuck. Absolute yuck.
So.
Great. Do you follow his brother on TikTok so you can watch all his cool dances? If it wasn't for his annoyingly, disgustingly haggard wife or his brother.
Don't on her. She's fine.
Yeah.
She only said 3 letters. MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
And we're the Antonellis.
My
we
bad.
chose our Spark Cash Plus card because we earn unlimited.
How do you not have YouTube Premium?
Purchase?
And with no
I don't have YouTube Premium.
or purchasing power,
why not?
Our business needs.
How much is it?
Wallet?
It's like $6 a month.
Jesus.
And you get
well,
YouTube
the city of Glendale is
getting
ready
doing
to
the
host its
Super
third
Bowl
Super
preview
Bowl
since it's
back
this
in
weekend.
2015, Super Bowl 49, Patriots over the Seahawks, and then
Chiefs
you had the
versus the Eagles.
2008 one Giants over the Patriots, and then before that was Super Bowl 30, but it was in Tempe, Sun Devil Stadium. Pete Prisco, you remember that one?
I do. Cowboys and Steelers. I was there.
That's your home field. Your home field there, Pete.
Yeah, I don't think they've had a win in there since that.
The stadium looks cool.
The Valley of the Sun getting ready to host another big game. By the way, we've been bringing this back during the postseason, and here's the ATS scoreboard for Brady Quinn and Pete Prisco. Again, Brady,
like 80 degrees?
the over.
Skip ahead.
Because whatever we didn't see, that Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers.
How warm is it?
The better team.
Oh, it's probably
factor because of.
I wish I was that warm.
Create more of the play and allow Tyreek Hill to separate. He hasn't had that this year, and I think.
Well, this is a boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah,
boring,
sorry.
Boring.
Boring.
I just enjoy the weather. I just want to be in Arizona.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Mitch, Cash App
Oh
you
my
for
God.
Fantasy
Let me get out of here.
Got it.
How
By the
many
way,
ads are you gonna sell, Jeremy? Who are you working for?
Right?
You sell what? Drug tests and cell phones?
Right. So Ray, you going for the Eagles or what?
Yup.
No, nobody. You're just gonna watch it.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Well, so
dude, I've told you guys this on many occasions, and this is going on the internet.
What?
It's going to be one of those people like, I can't believe you just said that. Al Qaeda could have a football team and play the Chiefs, and I would root for Al Qaeda over the Chiefs.
Wow, man.
That's a strong position.
Yeah,
dude,
it is.
I've lived in Kansas so long, and the one thing that I've never met, once, Jason Shelton, one person I can sit there and talk to him about football. He's a Chiefs fan, and he has zero arrogance in him at all. Every other Chiefs fan I've ever met, they're just, they're like Yankees fans. You know what I mean?
It's because you're a Raiders fan.
No, it's not just because I don the silver and black. People, past employees that I've worked with, bosses that are not even AFC fans, they're NFC fans, are like, yeah, they are the worst fan base besides the Eagles because they threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Right.
On the planet. No, dude, Philly fans are brutal.
Well, what about who did we just beat? Cincinnati. Those fans were brutal.
Yeah,
but see, those are new winning fans. They haven't suffered.
Well,
you know what I mean? And I know
they were like toddlers.
The Bengals, like you and I know the Bengals from. I mean, the Bengals. I mean, for years,
they had
and then
cool colors. That was the best thing they ever had.
And now they've got Joe Burrow, and they've got a good team, and now they're doing good, and now they're yapping a lot. You know, it's like it's like whenever they crown the freaking Chargers every year in the beginning of the year, like, oh, it's Super Bowl for these guys. I'm like, dude, really? The one thing I can tell you about Justin Herbert, he's going to break a ton of records. He's going to win a ton of games, and he's going to end up just like Phillip Rivers. No Super Bowl ever.
How can you change? Can we change ours?
I don't know, but I think it's making my whoa! I gotta go back.
How did you do that? Oh, you're on a computer.
Yeah, it's slowing up my computer because my computer sucks.
Man, it's not that it sucks. It's just
no. Its processor is garbage, man.
What processor is it?
Dude, I don't. It's an Intel. I mean, it's only like a.
It's an Intel. Cool.
Well, I don't know, man. It's a fucking Chromebook. That's its problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, let me go back here so it'll stop lagging. Holy moly!
You ain't got enough RAM on that thing.
That's right. It barely works.
Yep.
Well, hey, there he goes.
There we go. Wait a minute. Hold on. What's everybody eating for the Super Bowl?
Ooh.
Okay.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to?
Okay, so this is a tradition that started with like when me and my mom, when I was young, right?
Yeah.
And so I've continued it to today. So every Super Bowl, no matter who's playing, I go down to Subs and Such. You know that sandwich place?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did that last year too.
And I get the kitchen sink.
Yup.
Yeah, and I eat the first half of the sandwich in the first half, and the second half of the sandwich in the second half of the game.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
Aaron, I mean, your team's in it, so you guys got to be doing a big spread and having a party or whatever.
I actually enjoy just being around nobody to watch the game.
Yes.
I've done the parties and stuff, but then I'll be there and then I'll miss the game because everybody's talking, stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping it'll be a good evening, and we'll just watch the game.
See, he even busted out his own Chiefs fan. So all they're doing is sitting there talking, not even watching the game. Yeah, watch the game. Eat a chicken wing. Watch a game. Have some nacho dip. There you go.
Right. This is my cabin in the mountains.
Every year for Super Bowl, it's mandatory to have queso and chips, and at least chicken wings. I have to have
chips and chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Have to have them. Have to have them.
Okay. And you watch the whole game?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if it's boring, are you like, oh, go over here?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, when's the last time we had a super blowout for a Super Bowl?
It's been a while.
It's going to be close. Hopefully,
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah.
There might be big swings though, because both teams can score a lot of points in a little amount of time, and then you're down 21, but you could tie it up.
To me, it's going to be who wins the trenches. You're going to know in the first two series, offense and defense of both teams, who's going to be winning that line of scrimmage, who's going to win that game.
Right.
And like, if you let me watch the first plays from the Chiefs and the Eagles, I can probably make an educated decision on who's going to win, because you're going to know up front who's winning. If Chris Jones is dominating like he has been, Chiefs walk away with it. But if Fletcher Cox is doing the same thing, getting all that pressure up the middle, it could swing that way. I mean, we could have a Super Bowl that's 17-14, but we can also have one that's 42-35. You know what I mean? Like, both of them can score in bunches.
Yeah.
But both of their defenses can show up also. I know the Eagles, second best defense in the league, but the Chiefs have come around in the last, 3 to 6 weeks of the season. You know
and
what I mean?
Jones is collecting his paychecks.
Yeah. I mean, he's awesome. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to put that up tonight, okay? Maddox got a super cool, awesome Lego Transformer today. And he's already built it, and he brought it in here. I'm going to case it up and get it up on the wall.
Which one did he get?
The only one they have is Optimus Prime.
Oh. How long did it take him to do it? Let's see it.
Okay, I'm on a video
Let's
call,
see
but
it.
I'll do it.
I want to see it.
No, man, my room's a mess. I'll show it to you tomorrow. Yeah. Google it.
Well, guys, we're at the 47 mark. Do you want to shut it down? Or do you have more things you want to talk about?
You did the balloon. You did the earthquake.
I did the balloon. I did the earthquake. We talked about Missouri. We talked about the Green Rush. We talked about the Super Bowl.
On the Missouri one, that's the thing though. Like, they already, you said 317, so they're already doing. And in that video, it said they were talking about writing the regulations. I mean, that's where the sweet spot is. People need to be doing stuff in Missouri to make that make sense, because Oklahoma, I don't think, makes sense what they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nebraska, have they passed any kind of decriminalization law?
Not yet.
Medical. They're not medical yet?
They're not medical?
No.
Well, either.
Yeah. Good thing there's nothing called the internet that exists.
One
second.
Nebraska. They had a legalization ballot in 2022. I don't think it passed.
Nebraska senators hold hearings on a revised medical marijuana bill and recreational legalization proposals.
So they decriminalized some of it because it says possession of 1 ounce or less is an infraction, which is punishable by a fine of maybe $300. And a second conviction for possession of 1 ounce or less is a class I don't know what that is. 5 misdemeanor? I don't know. Punishable by a maximum fine of $500. So they must have changed something.
There's I'm looking at Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. The state of Oklahoma has created a whole department called the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority.
Okay.
Damn.
And the licensing portal, application status.
Nice.
Looks pretty cool. But I don't know. We'll see how Missouri does it.
Right.
Yep. So
cool, man. Well, thanks for coming on and being guests.
Yeah.
Ray should be on more often.
Yeah, I was busy with doing some other stuff, but I can't be out in the living room because like Maddox is out there building Legos, and he has his like TV going and stuff.
Right.
It's just yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Aaron, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still plan to do these, even though you guys won't let me talk about the other topic. That's okay. So maybe in the future, the Red Eye Hour have a new location. And, that'll be cool too.
Yeah.
And maybe that location will be where Antonious is as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll find it. All right, guys. Well, have a good night and good weekend.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.